It's fun to take you all through the amazing story of Redington over the last almost 40 years globally, but 30 years from an Indian standpoint. It's a story of innovation, it's a story of growth, it's a story where we have overcome many conventional obstacles. So it has been built by a group of very passionate, very dedicated colleagues. And today, Redington is a $10 billion company with a $1.5 billion market cap. And you would laugh when I say that people called us a 1.5% margin company. And today they talk to us with a lot of respect.
This isn't just a company. It's a story full of feelings, challenges, and a dream that never gave up. Welcome to the touching world of Redington.
So let me start with the story. It was sometime in 1981. I just moved to Singapore from Indonesia, and my good friend in the IT industries were all starting PC manufacturing, be it Shiv in Delhi or Ashok Narasimhan in Wipro in Bangalore, or Veera Raghavan and Ajit Balakrishnan with PSI in Bangalore, or Shiva Shankaran in Chennai. Their problem was they were startups. There was no concept of private equity or venture capital firm those days, and not one of the major suppliers was prepared to supply them without LC and give them long-term credit. And they said, "Hey Srini, you are in Singapore, this is our pain problem. Is there somewhere you can help us in terms of sourcing these products, shipping it to us, and of course giving us long-term credit?" So in a way, the genesis of Redington's starting and its growth coincided with the onset of the PC industry when the first Apple IIe was launched, and then Redington's growth was simultaneous to the PC growth either in India or all over the world. We were able to identify a need, a niche, and we exploited that niche to the fullest extent and kept our customers happy.
Redington was always called a homegrown, India-grown native distribution organization. We were largely volume players with Intel, Seagate, HP printers. The first transformation to a value-added distribution. Then, you would not believe, was PCs.
First year and a half, that was quite intense for us to set up Redington in India, all the way from identifying the SPL Gindi House office, getting it modeled into a world-class office.
I'm privileged to be the first salesperson who joined Redington India and opened the Mumbai office for Redington in April 1994.
I did many more things like writing shipments, coordinating with the warehouse, talking to partners, collection, everything. So you can say it was like an all-rounder, not only a call coordinator.
That was the year 99 when I joined Redington, 99 of March, and obviously the organization had established itself in all the major locations in the country.
This is a small certificate right here, which was given to me when I completed the first 5 years at Redington.
I was managing the entire business end-to-end, from ordering to imports to clearances to storing, warehousing, deliveries, picking up orders, delivering to resellers, collecting payments, depositing the payments in the bank, accounting for it, bookkeeping, and then drawing up the P&L. What a lesson, can't forget it.
You had no ready-made IT partners then, very few. So you had to really go behind partners who had the advantage of capital but were completely different businessmen. Let's say there were oil mill companies, there were textile distribution organizations.
So make sure when there is a sales office, there is a service center to communicate to partners that Redington is here to stay.
First business code was created for Supreme Computers Chennai, Rakesh Jain. We were so close that even today, Rakesh remembers Redington as the reason why his business has become so big.
Excellent support was coming from Redington. We cannot forget from Srinivasan sir and then Raj Shankar sir.
Stage where accountant was made to sit in the kitchen in a 1 BHK, and that kitchen was practically a warehouse for the services franchisee. So the entire exercise of finding the infrastructure, doing up the infrastructure, dealing with the authorities to really put up everything in place was a learning which definitely helped me in establishing myself.
I was the one doing demo billing and then going and giving it to the partner. After 2 days, okay, there was one gentleman called Srini. He is the one who used to tell me, when are you getting the PC back? When are you collecting the money back, right? He apne bill kiya, you go and better you bring in the money or you bring in the PC back to us.
We started our journey in 1997 in Middle East and Africa with humble beginnings. Humble because we had a distribution contract for one brand in one country, and that too only for one product category.
He said all payments to vendor to be made on time, all payments to bankers to be made on time, all payments to employees to be made on time. I remember when Microsoft came up, they checked with other brands about the payment track record of Redington.
What made a difference between Redington and the other major multinational brands was the culture of Redington, which was the winning strategy as far as we were concerned. Top line is vanity, bottom line is sanity, cash flow is reality.
If I remember, I have to recall what Mr. Srinivasan said then. Revenue is the vanity, profit is the sanity, but cash flow is the reality.
So these are guru mantras. To commit and deliver on time is showing a mark of respect for the person opposite you. The second one is to do the right thing when nobody is watching. We were told top line is vanity, bottom line is sanity, but cash flow is reality.
In those days, there was no bank transfers. Every employee check had to be signed individually on two signatories. One is an accountant, other is Mr. Srinivasan, and other director was in Singapore. So he come down to the office, sign every check so that he can courier it, so that everybody can get the salary check on first of the month.
Whatever the ups and downs in the business may be, Redington has ensured that every employee gets their salary on the 20th of the month. There is no delay even for a day. That's been the norm right from day one.
It is the empowerment that Redington offers, the environment it is offers to go help and build a business from scratch.
And communication, the clarity he brought into the system, which is something which I shared in that note. One day I called up and told him, Srinivasan, I'm on leave tomorrow for half a day. He said, leave going is not an issue at all. Please tell me forenoon or afternoon. Great clarity, It looks simple, but this avoids a lot of confusion.
And he would come up with this, he would say, what if I place an order for a chair which has 4 legs, right? And you give me a chair back with 3 legs. Do I pay you? And we would get the answer. We would say, okay, fine. We will fix up the 4th leg and we will do the collection, and then we will come back and we'll ask for our legitimate claim as variable.
Mr. Srinivasan taught me, if you don't sell, salaries can be paid. But if you sell and don't collect, obviously there is a challenge.
We were managing the business on a decentralized basis. We empowered our managers to take decisions without coming up the hierarchy and taking a permission from the number 1 or the number 2. But we had established very clear algorithms on which basis the decisions were being taken.
Very clearly we told the employees, irrespective of the level they were in, that they have to behave like individual entrepreneurs. They have to know how to manage the situation and deliver profit.
There is no other place which gives such an opportunity and a very unique culture of intrapreneurship, freedom within boundaries, and also encouraging a lack of fear of failure. This led to ordinary people like us being able to contribute and create and have extraordinary outcomes.
People don't work for companies. People work for people. And we had a skeleton HR, we had just 2 people. And we could surmount many of the HR related challenges those days.
In the year 2000, actually, when I came to India to take over the supplies business of HP, one of the first distributors I met in India was with Redington. And I still remember that wonderful Guinea office. But I went there and it was almost like a family setting of a home cooked food that they served with me for lunch. And I still remember that very well. That fast forward now to where I am running Middle East and Africa. I'm so thrilled to be with such great team of people so dedicated to this company.
Redington's original distribution concept was on components, but eventually we moved into the PC business, from there into the mobility business, and we kept pace with whatever was happening in the industry.
So Ramesh got a damn good deal. He's a great negotiator. He tooth and nail he fought with HP, got a great deal for us. And we sold in 45 days, collected the money in 60 days, 30 days kept the money.
When we came in for the first time with HP PCs, and that was the time we started scouting for partners all across the country.
It wasn't very easy to get people who were trained from the local countries itself, or to get expatriates very easily to come into these regions and work. There were complexities on how you could manage your family visas, how you could manage your education, children's education, and a whole lot of other considerations.
And 2,000 PCs, not easy. Those days selling 2,000 PCs, a big number. That is, I would say, changed Redington in value business, in PC business. Then the partners start realizing that Redington definitely can do the PC business as well in a great way. Then the landmarks is that signing up with Cisco. Cisco was not easy. They were really playing hard. It took quite a while. We had to recruit a set of team, stay invested with them. We signed up finally with Cisco.
In order to provide a solution for the customer, we had to give him volume products. We also had to give him the value products. We also had to give him the hardware. We also had to give him the software product.
Then came up with IBM. Again, IBM then had consumer PCs, commercial PCs, servers and storage, followed by security, followed by networking, followed by large storage subsystems. And this was the way that we built on VAT business that we came in. So we became a large pre-sales, training and solution architects way back from 2003. Our maturity was probably close to about 2015.
With time, we added portfolio, software portfolio, Semantic, Adobe, Oracle, Autodesk.
In the last 30 years, we have not degrown even in a single year, irrespective of what the market condition was. We could grow less, we could grow more. But as Reliance says, growth is life.
And other change, again, inflection point is mobility. When nobody thought that mobility will be a big distribution product, that is the time we approached Motorola, and Motorola were tying up. Nobody is very positive about it, but we signed up with Motorola. That is again game changer according to me, in terms of Redington growth.
We wanted to be a partner with our supplier, and Indigo was the only business where both the supplier or the vendor and us were together in it in terms of a win-win situation. Because the more the customer printed, the more ink we sold to him. HP till then, none of their general printer partners were their Indigo partners.
The genesis of the Indigo business that we got a call that we need to meet one Puneet Chedda in Bombay, and Mr. Srinivasan asked me to go. So I went there. We had no idea what Indigo was all about. Absolutely no idea.
So I remember this time when I had come down from Singapore, and I was so keen to actually have Indigo in the country, and I was being convinced by everyone that India is not the country for Indigo Digital Press. And we had called our Israel leader, Alon Bashne, I remember at that point in time. And we zoomed into somebody who had a financial muscle and somebody who had service capability. It was a very different business for Redington. And I remember that neither did we in HP know what Indigo is, because
we had no clue. We had no clue.
Neither Redington knew.
Yeah.
And these Israel, leaders were saying, are you sure you want to do this business in us? And we had full faith in Redington at that point in time. But this was primarily because of the leadership.
Yes.
Where you came forward, Srini came forward, and Srini said, I'm going to have a very different business space basically for Indigo, a COE for Indigo. And from that time till today, I don't remember a year where Redington has not got the best performance award. And Redington has turned out to be one of the best channel partners in the world.
So if you see in all these phases, whenever we wanted to address the product in a different way, we would prefer putting it in a separate company or a separate vertical, and then empower the team there to give what is required for the brand. And that is where the stickiness of the brand also improved.
And Nokia was the first brand with which we partnered for Africa. That was a bold move for us because in Middle East and Africa, we had no prior distribution experience in the mobility space. After many repeated attempts of knocking at the doors, we finally were awarded the distribution contract for Apple products in the UAE, which was a prized moment for us in the distribution journey.
Redington makes direction easier by signing contracts with professional vendors and selecting the right management, including finance, credit, IT, HR, and logistics.
The same year also saw us expand into the commercial and the enterprise space with setting up of the value-added distribution business as a very focused business unit to cater to the enterprise space.
Redington always sold on cash. We never gave credit to the Indian market till Ingram came and spoiled the market, because their model was to extend credit and take a credit insurance.
We evolved our own credit policies. Initially, you will be surprised that we gave only when the money hits the bank. Amazing, huh? Without check, post-dated check or DD or advance, he cannot issue material. And he made sure when any one of his friends want material, he can't go and ask the friend, pay money, we'll deliver. What he will do, he'll give his personal check. You keep it with you until you get the money from him. That's exemplary, he'll let be example. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Many instances, the culture got into the system.
Traditionally, the business was done only on demand draft and current dated check. Here, there was no risk.
Then we realized that system don't grow the business. Vendor also pushed us.
Then, credit evolved. Basis financial strength of the partner. Here, the risk involved was business losses.
We give you credit, you give a guarantee. So, that time we gave a guarantee. That is where Mr. Srinivasan managed the cash flow. Gave guarantee and took credit, and we extended credit to the partners.
Currently, we are extending credit basis financial strength of the partner, business done by the partner, and partner's ability and strength in doing business.
It took us years to master this perfection of art of credit management.
Credit insurance, structuring the larger transactions on escrow, financial solutions, channel financing, project financing.
How do you evaluate a partner from his intent to pay, which is what differentiates between a good partner versus another?
Looking back, Redington is in many ways a product of India's economic liberalization and the opportunities it opened up. What distinguishes us at Redington is our ability to seize these opportunities. One could go on and say that carpe diem is in our DNA. We began by providing access to Indian market and are today an emerging markets distribution major, solving what we describe as technology and market frictions.
This saw us on a very conscious move to expand our Middle East Africa safari beyond UAE into Saudi Arabia and Egypt in 2000, and the African Hatari with a start in Nigeria in 2005, followed by Kenya.
The business, the sales, the finance, the credit, the logistics, everyone have to work together to understand the nuance of the business, the way we need to conduct ourselves.
Taking a decision to implement ERP in a very early stage of the business, which was a year 1998 to 1999.
It was a very big game changer. It took almost 2 years for people to settle down. One of the hesitancy in terms of Why we should get into an ERP was because of the cost. The very first year our profits went even beyond the 2 crores and it paid for itself.
On the 1st of October, we did 300 crore plus of billing on a single day. And this is because we had an SAP implemented and the transactional load was never an issue to do these numbers.
So you made sure that all of us fall into the system. Then the growth never looked back. That is the inflection point for Redington.
And we were the first ones to coin the word, the brand behind brands.
And it felt if we had to grow the revenue beyond this, it was important for us to move into the smaller locations. So with that objective, I was moved to Nagpur, into central India to establish offices in Nagpur, Raipur and Goa.
Most of the vendors were very comfortable dealing with the likes of Ingram Micro, Tech Pacific, as they had relationships with the major suppliers. In the case of Redington, we had to fight with each vendor to be able to get a contract.
We had to go and convince that partner that yes, we are worth your while, please give us the business. So every vendor that we signed was a high for us. Very important to understand because it shows the kind of commitment that we brought to the business. A partner chooses to give business to you. How will he differentiate you from your competitors? And I can say we were all taught to maintain a bond which is different than a business bond.
In 2004, on the second half of 2004, we had a summit in Singapore for a joint business plan along with HP. And then the HP Asia Pacific head, Adrian Koch and Chris Morgan led the Asia Pac HP team along with Mr. Hariharan and Vish joining the team, Shavin Joseph, I remember Ranjit Yadav, I think there are many others who joined us in that session. It used to be an annual affair. I think in that year we drove certain 4 initiatives to drive our, how do we accelerate our growth from what we have been doing.
When there was a downturn in the 2000-2001 period, we looked inward and moved from 11 branches to 33 branches in a span of, I think in a span of 12 to 13 months. And that really gave us the catapulting jump into some phenomenal results for the 2002-2003 period.
Those days, there never used to be a discussion that whether you will move to this location, whether you will move to that location. There used to be our manager, Nandakumar, I still remember. He called me one day on the desk, Mandar, you need to go to Baroda tomorrow. I said, okay. No, not for travel, you are getting transferred there. So, okay, I find then there is no issue. So, I got moved in 2006 to Baroda.
This company has produced not employees, the company has produced the entrepreneurs. This company has produced the friends. This company has produced the risk takers. This company has produced many expertise in a different areas. Take our simple product managers. So they are well-rounded, all-rounded the business professionals. That's what the company has built. That's the character of the company.
Couple of years, we offered our services to completely different brand. For example, Cadbury chocolates. We were handling their warehouse and distributing. It was a temperature controlled facility. So these were all completely new. And when we had the confidence that we are able to taste success, we decided to form ProConnect Supply Chain.
There was no ERP system, there is no WMS system, but my team and myself working together ensure that customer is priority, and we manage the entire operation successfully.
We decided on the bold move to implement SAP. This decision itself was fraught with a lot of opposition from multiple stakeholders. But we were resolute in our ask and we went ahead with it. Today, looking back, I think we did the right thing.
We were the first technology distributor in the region to implement SAP in 2006 and subsequently rolled out the same across the Middle East and Africa region.
To bridge the working capital gap, could never imagine that we go debt-free with the logic that we increase or structure accounts payable such that it fully supports the accounts receivable. In essence, AP equal to AR and inventory equal to net worth.
I also had the opportunity to build and set up the cloud management platform, and extending the same across geographies was another strategic milestone.
2008, the immediate year after we implemented the ERP, was a landmark year in itself. The landmark being we achieved the $1 billion magical milestone in the Middle East and Africa, a revenue feat which is of no mean record.
When for the first time we crossed a revenue of $1 billion, I still remember those late night celebrations and parties we had.
This happened on April 28, 2004. All our imports used to be in Chennai. One fine day morning, there was a short circuit. There wasn't, any leftovers of stocks. Srini was there in office by about 7 o'clock and he called all of us.
We had just signed on Tata AIG as our insurance company for our warehouses in India. Within a week of their signing up with us, when we had not even paid our first installment of premium, we had a major fire in our godown in Chennai.
So first he wanted to make an assessment, do we have an insurance policy and what the policy terms are? Is this covered? Is something that he wanted to understand. Second, he wanted to make an estimate of what is the loss all about. He even made a mention that worst come worst is 1 year of profit. This being a major claim, there were 3 audits that was done by Tata AIG.
Very important was to establish the value that was lying in the warehouse. So it was through the systems that during the due diligence or during the vetting of these claim amount, the complete transactional history, the movements of the inventory, the closing stock that was lying before the fire took happened through the system, and we were able to justify, and that is where they were able to get convinced and give us a claim.
Within 12-13 days from the time the claim, this incident happened, we got 50% of the money. August 15th, we got 100% of the amount. No deductions, no loss to Redington.
It is a trust issue where AIG paid us fully. And in return, we told AIG that irrespective of what you quote, for the next 5 years, the contract is yours because you have to make up what you paid us out.
I think going public in 2007 was a very important milestone. It was a transition from being what I call an entrepreneurial venture into becoming a structured distribution company. Going public wasn't just a financial milestone for us. It was actually a catalyst that fueled our growth and laid the foundation for a remarkable journey.
Wherein the peers at that point in time were Ingram or Tech Pacific, which are all MNCs. We were also a Singapore-based MNC, but largely India-focused and India homegrown.
As a defensive strategy, we thought we should bring in Synnex as an investor. We thought Synnex may be a prospective company that will get into India. After various discussions, finally it culminated into a transaction wherein they took a 36% stake for $24 million that time, and after which Redington Group got formed. Until then, India was held independently of Singapore and South Asia, independently of Middle East and Africa. Then we made Redington India as a holding company, and we brought in Redington Gulf as well as Redington Singapore under Redington India.
Even when it was fully promoter-led business, never had the professional managers need to have any interaction with the promoters. Never. Promoters never interfered in the business. The professionals were left to the business to the best of their ability. Then Redington transitioned to a promoter-led but board-managed organization when it went public, 2007. Promoter-led, board-managed and professionally driven.
It set in motion a transition from being a founder-led, what I call a network of entrepreneurial individuals, into an independent, board-led institution. What did it mean? It meant that we needed to distinguish between the hitherto intermingled roles of governance and executive management. Today, while the executive leadership is focused on achieving profitable growth and pursuing execution excellence, the board focuses on maintaining the trust of all the stakeholders, enabling all of them to make what we call well-informed choices. This involves ensuring organizational well-being through active monitoring and being a mentor to the executive leadership team by providing them guidance with their strategic choices.
Finally got listed in 2007 February. The first public investor who reposed faith in us was T. Rowe Price. She subsequently became a 9% shareholder in the company. 15th of February, we got listed.
That we have been successfully shown in the performance, especially in the form of shareholder value creation. Since 2017, we have doubled our turnover and tripled our profits and our market cap, which today stands at 13,700 crores.
We hived off supply chain as a separate division. Again, I don't think any other distributor had the supply chain concept at that time as a separate profit center within the organization.
When we started cloud business, we have to put up a platform. What we knew until now is only the railway platform. So from that stage to, we had to collaborate with external parties beyond the scope of our regular scope of Redington.
We made a 1-hour presentation. At the end of the day, the vendor said, "You have no idea what the cloud is about. Come back to me again. Come back to me again." We still have 3 months to take a decision whether we want to, which distributor we want to sign as our cloud partner in India. So we went back to drawing board. We had several discussions with many companies, born on cloud companies, and we formed our business philosophy. And we went back to them and convinced this very important vendor that Redington is worth your while. And what gave us the high was, we were at that time the only distributor signed up India for that vendor's cloud business.
I'm happy to say that supply chain now in 10 years, we have been able to take a good growth. Initially, probably the in-house customer was giving us 83 to 85% of the business, but over the period, the external share was close to 80-85% and internal contribution came down substantially, which means we were able to grow the business.
So the year 2010 was a very important year. As we were running out of expansion opportunities in the emerging markets in the region, because we were conventionally growing in the organic mode, that's when we did our first acquisition in Turkey in Arena, which was one of the leading distributors at that point in time in Turkey.
The acquisition of Arena is a very important, very material cornerstone in the history of Redington. It was the first acquisition, and also it is still the largest acquisition ever made by Redington.
Turkey was an important market that we continued with the follow-on acquisition in 2014 in the enterprise space in what is called Redington Turkey today.
At that time, Arena was a $500 million IT volume distributor company, and now we are $1.2 billion distributor of volume, value, enterprise, and the mobile products in Turkey market.
Back in 2010 was also the first year when the automated distribution center we had set up in Jebel Ali Free Zone in Dubai became operational.
Very ethical, high level. We were often told that a little bit of underperformance may be tolerated, but lack of integrity and lack of ethics will never be tolerated. And this is imbibed in all those who are with Redington today. I think that has been the main strength of Redington as a company.
We had shareholders who had put in money, and we had shareholders who had put in their emotions behind the company, and they felt as if they were owners for a long time till the time they got the shares.
Redington's strength has always have been people. You see Redington today, most of the senior managers have been here for many years. Very talented people, highly committed people. I'm sure if they wanted, they would have been able to get other career opportunities anywhere, but they chose to stay because they believed in Redington. We have had leadership at the highest level who were so so inspirational that it did not matter that Redington probably was never the best paymasters. The fact that we had inspirational leadership and were given the operational independence to run the business the way we want made people stay back. The fact that all these individuals grew with the organization. As Redington grew, all of us grew. People started from being a product manager, they have become CEO today. I started as a sales manager and I ended up as the chief operating officer. So if you performed, if you showed the promise, if you showed the commitment, Redington gave you the opportunities.
I think Redington for me has been phenomenal. My journey in terms of personal experience, in terms of professional experience, it's given me a lot.
When I look at that for the last 13 years, what I see, in some periods, in some days, we had been successful, and in some other days we were not. Some days we hit our targets, and some days we missed our targets. But of course, there was very, very difficult conditions, very, very difficult days, like the financial crisis, earthquake crisis, political crisis. But something has never changed during this 13-year period. We have always seen trust, support, and respect from Redington.
You know, building a startup up to $1 billion organization, pretty much the core team has stayed together for many years, primarily because we used to have incredible fun, not just within the work, but we used to long for our companies outside of the work as well. We have great time together.
I would like to put on records that I never felt alone in this journey at Redington, because there is someone had always been there through my challenging times.
2 years back when I turned 50, my colleagues called me to the pantry for the cake cutting ceremony. And just when I was about to cut the cake, I see from the doors of the pantry my family, my wife and kids entering the office. And I was really surprised, and this was kept a secret from me. It was such a beautiful experience, so lovely, so emotional.
What Redington has embodied within us is sense of true passion, teamwork, and some great memories that stay with us every day.
Redington is my life, Redington is my blood, and Redington is whom I am today.
The company never shied away from trying a business guy, trying a finance guy into business, or a business guy into sales, or a salesperson back into credit. All this combination was possible.
Simplicity is still something I feel still there today. I mean, I don't see any change. Only that offices were always good, but today it is super good office.
Not being very flamboyant and flashy, but at the same time remaining grounded, remaining humble in spite of whatever scale and heights that we have reached, right? This is a rare combination.
A way to go, and very excitingly now we are also looking at a stockless model, inventory-less model. So that is really exciting me, and we are looking into bringing in all smaller tail-end vendors, small vendors, working with them closely and to extend our platform to get the operations done.
I think there is a whole lot of change that will happen, that are already happening to our business models. From a outright purchase to a subscription-based economy is where our movement is.
Digital credit, digital partner onboarding, instant credit limits, enhancement of credit limits through digital portal, partner credit scoring, which will give seamless business experience to all the stakeholders.
Yeah, I think from being a brick and mortar distribution organization, we are transforming ourselves into a digital distribution organization. I think that's going to be the future of distribution in India.
Getting into the new age logistics, where it is all completely digitalized and IT plays a major role, I think that will help place Redington on the new roadmap of success. Today the brand Redington has a massive impact on all these distributors, and some of them we are proud to say who started as our partners, they have gone ahead to almost list their companies.
Parallelly, we are realigning our sales team also accordingly. Sales team we are now dividing into account management. Then we will have a backend team who will be the ISR development engine, which will cover the next set of partners. And the last set of partners will be covered by the digital backend team.
Over the last 3 decades, we have diversified our product portfolio that today includes IT, hardware, software, cloud, mobility, solar, and digital printing. We've expanded our brand portfolio that includes all global product majors in these categories. And we have grown our geographic footprint to nearly 40 markets in the most promising high growth markets of the world. What is remarkable is that this growth and transformation has been achieved only from retained surpluses. There has been no injection of fresh equity into the company since the 100 crores we raised in 2007.
There are many transformations happening around us. Some of the transformations that I'm personally very excited about is cloud. Multi-cloud is going to be a big thing for us, and all the products and solutions and services that we can get engaged in. Then there is AI. AI is going to impact everything that's going to happen, the way we work internally, go to market, the products and services that we deliver for the customer. That's going to be another big change and transformation that's going to get a lot of new opportunities. Sustainability is another key key trend that I'm personally very excited about. The IT industry is dealing with a lot of power consumption, water consumption, and we have to play our role for planet Earth in sustainability. And finally, the rural consumer segment in India and Africa is consuming smartphones today, but has really not started consuming much of IT. That's going to represent a big opportunity in the next decade. I'm very fascinated and excited about these transformations and the opportunities that they will throw up for Redington.
How do I look ahead? I believe 2023 will be yet another inflection point. The dramatic changes in the technological landscape that we see around us, AI being a case in point, is providing exciting growth opportunities. And we have our presence in the most promising markets of the world, which magnify these opportunities. And critically, if you look at it, over the last 3 decades, we have demonstrated our ability to seize opportunities. We will continue to leverage this DNA. As we say, Redington is always future ready. And our governance philosophy will continue to be anchored on 3 guiding principles. The first of them being what we call Redington First, that privileges the institution over individuals. The second principle is One Redington, that privileges unity. We always privilege the whole over the part. And third is Responsible Redington, that ensures that we are a fair and responsible members of the society. That is what helps us build and maintain the trust of all the stakeholders.
This was it. When you get older, you realize that all the things around you, all the successes that you have taken for granted, they became possible due to the enormous passion, steadfast vision and tenacity of those before you, and the values that achieved it: humility, frugality and perseverance. It is with this mindset that we welcome the future. We look forward to the next 30 years.